Hi, my name's Kristine Hendry. I'm the CEO of the Spinal Research Institute. I'm joined today by Stefania Di Paolo, who, together with her husband Max, is one of our ambassadors. Max has a spinal cord injury, and Stefania, along with being a carer for Max, is also a wife, a mother, and a financial accountant. So she has a lot to juggle. Hi, Stefania. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi, Kristine. Thanks for having me.
That's great to have you to chat. I wanted to take you back to the moment when Max had his spinal cord injury. Can you tell me what that meant for you in that moment?
Look, in the moment, it was just shock and disbelief. I didn't really know what spinal cord injury meant, apart from not being able to walk. It was one of the first things they told me. They were fairly certain he had spinal damage and it would be permanent. It was a lot. It was a lot to take in. He had a lot of injuries and was very critical. But I really didn't want to believe that, and I really didn't know really what it meant. And so the weeks and months that followed, it became a bit more clearer how different life was going to be and how much more challenging it would be. And yeah, at that time, probably couldn't see a future. But yeah, here we are. So 11 years on, which is great.
Yeah. In our chats, you've said to me that it was never a question for you that you would care for Max in some capacity. How do you manage being a partner and also a carer, being a wife and a carer?
Look, it is hard. Some days can be really challenging. The hardest part is seeing your partner suffer and struggle with daily tasks. That would be the hardest thing, and them needing your help for those things. That would be the hardest thing to deal with. We did when he first came home from hospital. We didn't have a lot of support, but over the years we've started to increase a bit more help from support workers just to take the load off me, and to help us have a bit of a separation from me being a carer all the time. And also I do have a lot of other hats to juggle, so I need to be able to have time to do those things, to be a mother and to be able to work as well. So that has helped. And I guess, like, we do what most other couples do, is we just make time for each other, be it if we go out for dinner or even just at home. Sometimes it's just even at the end of the day, just if we just have a 5-minute chat, just reflection, just to talk about what's happened during the day, how we felt, just something small like that helps. But it is a juggle, but I try to make sure that I'm a wife first before being a carer. Yeah. And we both do.
So there's obviously daily challenges that you face in that caring role, yeah, but what are also some of the positives that you get from it as well?
So some of the one of the greatest challenges is ensuring that everything runs smoothly at home. But as you know, spinal cord injury can be very unpredictable. So often things are out of my control and they don't run smoothly. But things that I make sure that I can stay on top of are ensuring, like, that supplies are stocked, he has all his medication, everything's in the right place for him at home where he can reach things. That's the challenges. But the positives are seeing Max get up each day. And despite all the challenges he faces, he perseveres, he gets up, he does his routine, he's out there, he's back in the workforce, he's participating in sport, he's being a dad. And, that's really the greatest positive that could come out of it.
Yeah, it's wonderful. We're all back under COVID restrictions.
Yes.
What's the implication that's had? What the impact that's had on your family, and what do you think the long-term implications might be?
Look, it has definitely, well, for me personally, given me a greater level of anxiety. It's you know, I worry a lot, and obviously, you know, heaven forbid if you know, any, myself or my son or even Max should come in contact with it, I just could not imagine the repercussions, really, especially for Max with compromised immunity and a lot of other issues that come with spinal cord injury. But look, it's been probably the hardest for Max to deal with on an emotional level, being locked down, because he did spend many months in hospital, a long period of time in rehab, and then even when he came home, it was many months before he was able to get back out you know, gain confidence and independence to get out. And so yeah, so that's been a huge challenge. We still do have support workers coming in, so that's again exposing to another risk, but it's one of those things, if we don't have them, then it makes things a lot more pressure on me, and even a lot more pressure on Max and our son. So it's, you know, weighing up the pros and cons. I mean, obviously, full precautions are taken as best as possible with that. You know, obviously it's the juggling, the being at home, not dissimilar to others, but yeah, that's been tricky. And with, you know, trying to juggle the working from home and the remote learning and always being sort of in the house is hard. And even just the lack of incidental exercise that we would all get as a family, I think has really impacted on us. So we try to ensure that we get out for our allocated outdoor time, as it's important. So, you know, if it's even just if it's a walk around the block, or for Max a push around the block, that's been really important. I think, look, long term there's going to be a lot of I think, you know, a lot of mental health implications really that's going to come from it, because it has affected people in a really big way to be stuck at home. And I mean, you know, we're both lucky we're in a position that we have been able to continue working, so that's been great. But I think too, you know, even as hopefully as things get better, but I think, you know, there's always going to be a bit of a fear of going out. It's going to take a long time before people will feel you know, happy and confident going out. I know certainly I won't be. I mean, I had sanitizer with me all the time beforehand, and now it's, you know, tenfold worse, and I can't see that changing anytime soon. Look, but the positives are we've been at home, we've had some really good quality family time, there's been no rushing, we've got to enjoy some great meals together, and without, you know, the 10-minute quick rush when you get home from work putting things together. So it's that has been nice, and just to have a bit quieter weekends together has been really lovely.
Yeah, it's good. Lovely. As you know, the SRI is focused on building consumer engagement in research. So I'm wondering, have you or Max ever been involved in research, and what perspectives you can bring with the lived experience?
Yes. Look, we have participated in questionnaires. Both of us have done so. They're quite easy, you know, and often don't take too long a time to sort of get your answers across and get what you want to say across. So that's been really, really good. I think for me personally, it's great to be able to sort of participate in research to give my perspective on the challenges that I see Max deal with, and, you know, things that impact him and that impact us as a family. So I think you know, opportunities like that to provide that information is really good.
Great. Yeah. Well, thanks so much for your time today, Stefania. I really appreciate it. If you want to find out more about Max and Stefania, you can look on the SRI's website, which is the sri.org. and the Who We Are page. And if you look under the Ambassador tab, you'll find Max and Stefania. Thanks again so much for joining me today. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Kristine.
Okay.
Thank you.
And thanks, Stefania. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.